We have breaking news today. We're starting to get information on the details of Blade's Mighty Tower event. It's going to be different. It's going to be challenging. So what information do we have and how can we best put it to use? So right here, we have an image of the special trait that's going to be used in the Mighty Tower Blade event. It is Tower Challengers 1. Now, as we look at this list of characters, please notice something very, very interesting. There are teams here which are full 5-person teams. There are individuals here that are made up of 3-person teams. So they will not have the full complement of their team available to use. And there are a lot of characters here that are just solo characters, that are just standalone characters. We're going to need to be building teams of 5 in order to progress through this tower. So we want to make sure that we're looking at what's going on. Our rosters are going to be different and try to build the best teams that we can in order to move forward day by day. We want to make note of something very, very important that was mentioned in the recent blog post, Ice Skating Upper Tower. We're reminded here in the blog post, here is the core setup. There are 3 towers, 3 different difficulties. That seems to be the norm right now. There are 24 total floors. They're going to be released 6 per week. Okay, so 6, 12, 18, 24. It's going to take a month, 4 weeks to get through this. If we have to reset, keep in mind, we drop all the way back down to floor number 1. We'll still be able to get through, right? The teams will continue to reset like it says there. They'll refresh upon completion of floors 6, 12, 18. Our characters will refresh and can climb again. But we want to be as efficient as possible. So it's very important to have a look at the teams, know what ones we can use, and try to plan ahead week by week. Our rosters are all going to be very, very different. We've all put investment into certain characters and other characters, maybe not so much. So before we start our adventure during the week, it's good to take a look at what floors are available, what characters we have, and how we think we can climb the best. So since we know what characters are available, let's take a look at some possible thoughts on the strategies of how we're going to be building these teams. Let's start out by looking at the fully fledged out 5-person teams that are available in that Tower Challenger trait. Shadow Conclave is one of the teams that are on that list. So if we're building our Shadow Conclave, that's good. We encourage you to keep making progress in that area. Exalted X-Men are another team. So we got 2 fully kitted out teams there. Omen is also on the list. Now, Omen is a team that a lot of people may not have all of the members. It is a premium team, we'll say. So again, Omen's a team. We might not have all the members. It's a premium team. Those of us who've been playing the game for a while, we may have some of these teams, or excuse me, some of these characters built, at least to a degree. Some of us, again, might be spending money. I'm on the free-to-play side, so I really don't have them any stronger than this. It is possible. We'll have to see. Maybe we could get through a floor with a setup like this. Again, we're going to have to see if that's the case for an Elder Game player. You take advantage of it, right? Take advantage of it. However, if we're, again, truly free to play and we don't have the Omen team, then just keep in mind, Silver Surfer Breaker by himself is an incredibly powerful character. And as we've been progressing through the game, right, they're giving us the things we need to build these different characters, especially these breakers. Take advantage of them. Find setups and skill sets that they can be useful in order for you to progress through the content. The Symbiote 6 is another fully fledged 5-person team that we can use in the Blade Mighty Tower. And as you can see, mine's coming along really good. Another video on that later, but you can see it's coming along really good. You can have at the end game, this is something that we can reasonably put together and we can use. So that is 4 teams that we can use that are fully built every day, right? Omen, we're not going to have it if we're free to play. That might drop us down then to 3 teams. There's 6 floors. So I would plan in my mind to see, okay, will these teams be able to be used on 3 of those 6 floors every week? Will they fit in? What characters are there? What advantages can I take advantage of with the characters that I have? Are they strong enough? Can we make progress? I would consider that each week to see if we can make progress. Now let's get into the teams that only have 3 members. We're going to have the newest Fantastic Four MCU members. So Franklin Richards, Invisible Woman, and Mr. Fantastic. Those 3 members are available, leaving 2 vacant spots. Now, Again, this is a strong group of characters. We probably want to keep it in mind where we be using it each week. I got a feeling that they're going to come in handy. Our second group of characters we could take in are the Absolute A-Force. Again, we're only going to be looking at a few members here. We're going to have Miss Marvel Classic, Moon Girl, and Kahori. Those will be the three characters that we're going to have. Two standalone characters are Blast Star and Thunderstrike. Now, the reason we're bringing this up is because Blast Star, we've been using her a lot with Kahori. So perhaps with those three members of the Absolute A-Force we could use Blast Star and Thunderstrike to round that team out. No guarantees, but it is a consideration. All right, we'll have Thunderstrike that can give us some healing. Blast Star can continue to be able to power up his bomb burst by following up behind Kahori. So perhaps that's something we can take advantage of. As we make progress, we're going to be unlocking Blade. He too, even though he wasn't on the picture, it's been confirmed that he too will be able to be used in that Mighty Tower. That makes sense. So that gives us another three-person team of these newer characters. So we have Spider-Man, Hulk, and Blade the Mighty. Another one of our standalone characters is Oath. And because she gives out bleeds, she might work well with those other three characters, adding to the healing of the team, right? So we have Blade Mighty when we unlock him, and the other two, Amazing Avengers and Spider-Man and the Hulk. We know that Blade, if we didn't pay attention to the kit, we know that Blade heals people when bleeds take effect. So having other characters that can deposit bleeds might help stretch the longevity of the team and perhaps can get us through a floor. New Mutants are also on the list. And again, it would just be these newer characters in Wolfsbane, Warlock, and Cannonball. They have some effective skills. Wolfsbane does induce bleeds as well. So just something to keep in mind. Maybe we swap her onto the team with the Mighty Blade. Just something to keep in mind. But they are also X-Men characters. So there are a couple other characters we could lean into to maybe synergize with that X-Men trait. We have Emma Frost X-Men, who is one of the standalone characters that's available to use. And if we just take a look at her awakened ability. So for example, her passive ability, Reformed Queen, Brilliant Teacher. She applies defense up to everyone and barrier to Astral and X-Men allies. Her ultimate, if she doesn't have trauma, copy and clear all negative effects except for stun from all the Astral and X-Men allies to self. Copy and clear all negative effects from her to the primary target. And if we continue down, she will be able also to give immunity to X-Men allies. In addition, she'll fill speed bar as well. So again, not something that we have to do, right? We don't have to do this. We're just looking for synergies, things that we might want to take advantage of. And since the only other X-Men allies outside of Exalted, for the most part, that were on that list were the New Mutants, she would probably fit really well in that environment. We could include Rachel Summers in that group as well. She's on the Hellfire Club. Emma Frost, the normal Emma Frost, is also on the Hellfire Club, but she's a person we probably want to save for special circumstances. So Rachel Summers, again, she doesn't have a lot of X-Men synergy, but she is an X-Men, right? She has the X-Men tag. And so we could use her abilities perhaps on that team to spread around the stuns and things of that nature. She's a good character that might help to give us a nice rounded out 5-person team. We also have a few members of the Starjammers. We have Lilandra, Havoc, and Nova Sam Alexander. Again, another 3-person squad. Something to think about. I didn't think too deep with this one. I wasn't 100% sure how we would integrate more people. There are some other individuals out there that are solo that we haven't used just yet. One thing to keep in mind is Havoc is going to continue to retaliate, give those outer turn damage. He is also an X-Men. So maybe we could rotate him into one of those other team compositions instead. Nova Sam Alexander could be paired up with Moon Girl, right? We could add her instead of in the Absolute A-Force team composition there. And that gives us that opportunity to put slows on people and put stuns. Just something to keep in mind. We're going to have to play with a lot of these combinations and see what's going to work best, when and where effective. We do have a couple characters that are solo. For example, Jeff the Landshark. Now, he's normally obviously on the retcon team, and a lot of us maybe aren't thinking about how he could be used, but let's keep in mind, a lot of his abilities are not necessarily attached to the retcon team. His ultimate here attacks all enemies, right? There's nothing there that is attached to the retcon team. It attacks all enemies. It's going to drop defense down and trauma for 2 turns. That by itself isn't bad. His special, Sharknado, clear barrier from all enemies, right? And he's going to bring everybody together and do that attack. He's still, I think, if we look at his passive ability, yeah, I think this still works, right? When an enemy uses their ultimate, apply time warp to self or one random retcon ally that doesn't have time warp. There won't be any other retcon allies. It will simply be Jeff. So anytime your opponent then will do their ultimate ability, Jeff would get time warp. So that's going to help him to go and do some out of turn damage. Darkstar is another one of the solo members. We recognize she does do some damage, right? She's a pretty good damage dealer. She has that double attack if you're able to eliminate somebody with her abilities. Again, just something to keep in mind. We're not sure where we would put her right now, but we'll talk about it. We'll meditate on it. She's not an X-Man, so she can't go with that, but she is a mutant, and there are characters that do affect other mutant characters. Phantom Rider is also on the list. I really don't have much experience with him, so I won't really speak on that, but perhaps he can be used in a different team composition. There are some really big heavy hitters that we can use as well. Professor X is on the list, so that can be, again, if we do it right, that can be a wipe for one of the floors. If we just build something to keep him alive, we're struggling. If we're able, again, to just build something for endurance-wise, keep him alive, we can hopefully use him to just wipe one of the floors. Apocalypse is another one of the mythic characters that's on the list. Again, some of us might not have him, but he's really strong. He negates, in many cases, what Emma Frost does. So if it's a standard Emma Frost, the villain version on the other side of the board, that would be indication to use Apocalypse. And again, he's a mythic character, very strong. He can one-shot somebody, health rebalancing when he does his special ability. So something that might come in mind, right? Something that we might be able to use. The other mythic character that's there is Annihilus. Now, of course, the overwhelming majority are not going to have Annihilus. But now that the ban hammer is dropped and the cheaters are not in the game anymore, Scopely wanted to make sure that the legit players who got their Annihilus are able to use them. They should be able to use what they earned, right? And once again, Annihilus is one of those characters that it looks like will help you to just simply wipe a floor. So that will be another point for the spender's advantage. We might not have them, but we just want to keep in mind individuals that do, they can put them to use. Here we have standard Emma Frost. And as always, the thing that really comes to the fore when using her is she applies negative 10% speed to all enemies, right? So she just slows down the opposing enemy team, allowing you to hopefully take the advantage, take more turns. Just something to keep about. She's a great plug and play character. So if you see a floor which doesn't have somebody that negates that, probably a good opportunity to plug her in and take advantage of that opportunity. Eclipse is another solo character that's mentioned. Again, I really haven't thought, I'm going to give some thought to this because I haven't thought about using her by herself. I usually think about using her with the team. I haven't really thought about using her by herself. So we'll have to keep an eye out for some opportunities to do that, to really put her to use. We have a couple more heavy hitters that we could use. Blue Marvel is one example. I don't have Blue Marvel unlocked, but it's making me think about it. I got to be honest. If they're going to be allowing us to utilize them and they are still using characters that we would have invested in to unlock Blue Marvel, right? Some of those characters, Blastar, Thunderstrike, Quasar, Fantastic Four MCU, if those characters are still being used, perhaps I should go ahead and invest in them regarding that purple ISO and then unlock Blue Marvel, since he's somebody that we can take advantage of. He is a heavy hitter and his window of opportunity is short since he is a stat-based character. As mentioned, Quasar is also on that list. So again, given those more recent legendaries, the legendaries from the Age of Annihilus are still active, we can still use them. Quasar is a great character, very strong. He has that 10% damage, right, on his against cosmic enemies, right? If the target is cosmic, steal 10% of health from the primary target. So just something to keep in mind. We've used that on occasion. Maybe we see an opposing character, we could make use of that. Otherwise, Quasar is simply a strong character regardless. Sentry, the previous Battle World boss, also can be used. He has a nice kit as well, right? He's decently strong. He's somebody we can use as well to fill in the gaps on any of those teams. Now, I think this is all of the characters that were mentioned on that challenger trait list. So there just is one more thing we want to keep in mind. One of the things that is different about this tower is there are no mode additions, right? Characters will not have abilities from game modes like War, Crucible, okay? Those things are not part of this tower. It's just going to be the characters. It's just going to be the characters, and they do what they do. This is going to be very, very interesting. It should be challenging, to be honest with you, because we have a lot of different roster makeups. Many of us might not have all these characters, so we're going to need to take our time. I stress this. We're going to need to take our time. Maybe we do a little research. Should be very interesting regarding content creation. As people have different things, they're going to have to use them differently. I'm excited for this. This seems to be something kind of special. It's a long tower. This seems to be what they said they wanted to get to. Towers that cascade over the course of a month, and that is indeed coming to fruition. So I'm just asking, are you excited about the Mighty Tower? It's different. It's going to reward us with the new Mighty character Blade. Right? I might not be a super big fan of the character. It's cool, but I think the content, right? The content looks to be really, really good. I want to hear back from you. Did you see some type of synergies that I missed? Right? Are some things that you're planning out, things that you see that could work? Floors are going to be a little bit different this time. We're not going to be able to rely on things like Cosmic Crucible or War traits. We're going to have to use the character straight up in kind of a draft fashion. Should be interesting. Let me know your thoughts, and I'd be interested to know, how are you keeping up with Gear Tier 20? I had an interesting experience here. Is this typical? Is this what you're experiencing, or are you experiencing something different?